G'day guys, my name's Ruben. I'm just here to show you the MI amplification Megalith Gamma. MI is an Australian brand, and this Gamma is kind of like it's almost like a take of a Mezza Boogie kind of sound, but it's got some really nice cleans and a whole bunch of options which I'm going to walk you through. So basically I'll start you off on kind of what my setting would be. Now I'll just show you the front panel here if you want to come over, dude. So you've got different gain settings for your clean channel and your drive channel. Currently we're on drive. Your EQ is standard, but each channel gets its own kind of EQ contour happening. I haven't read up what these do, but basically on 0 you get a whole bunch of resonance, and 1 and 2 tend to tighten up the sound respectively. Over here, of course, is your channel switcher. Bright freaking blue for clean, red for distorted. Clean volume, drive volume, and then the contour, and I'll show you a lot about this. Now your drive mode has 3 different modes: low, mid and high, and these are pretty extreme differences, so I'll give you a bit of a demonstration. Stop it. So here I have it on high gain, high distortion. The contour is quite sweep, so as you pull that back it's going to sweep out the mids. My EQ setting is on the 0 option, so plenty of resonance, but I've dropped the bass back, and this is the kind of result. Take note that the gain setting is only on about 3 or 4, so this thing gets some pretty serious gain. And remember, this is just an iPhone, so we don't have the best audio quality, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so next I'm going to show you what the EQ settings do. So if you come in here, man, as I said before, you got 0, which kind of seems to have everything in it with all the resonance. 1 and 2 tend to cut a bit of that off and tighten up the sound respectively. As I said, I'm not too familiar with exactly what they're doing, but I'll show you. So this is the sound of it on 0, and you can really hear the chugs. Drop that back to 1. A lot less resonance. Put that on 2. And it's a much more kind of 90s sound. It's really scoped, and I can imagine that would be a lot better for modern metal players. Now this drive contour is what I really appreciate, so I'm going to switch that back to 0 so we get all the resonance in there. I think that kind of shows more frequencies than the other 2 settings, but I'll let you guys tell me about that if you want to do the research. So the drive contour, this is what I really love. So this has got, if you drop it all the way back, it's kind of cutting out the mids, and if you push it up, it also almost seems to be boosting the mids, but for now I'll do a complete mid sweep. Hear those mids coming back, and now I'll push it all the way to the other side. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit actually. That's like your old school Metallica tone, so I'll show you the complete difference. Pretty extreme kind of mid sweep there. Alright, so I'm going to put it back to where I like it, which is about kind of 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And I'll show you the drive mode. So at the moment we're on high, which is basically, you know, if you're doing power chords, drop D, anything like that, single notes. It's a real mezza kind of sound. So I'm going to drop it all the way back to low. First I'll give you an example of what it sounds like, but I'm going to play bigger chords so you can hear how much it clears up once you go into drive. I'm going to put the pickups in the middle as well. Drop it all the way back. You can really hear that kind of, you know, the clarity open up. So another thing I want to show you, I'm going to put it into the middle, mid-gain mode. Put the gain right down, okay? So this is a really kind of subtle gain. Actually, I'm going to drop that back to low. Not really enough gain for that kind of thing, but if you pull this contour back, it kind of gives you this this effect that the gain is cranking when it's not. Whereas when I turn it back up, you can really hear there's not much there. Now that's for you to experiment more if you want on, like, you know, the low and mid settings, is turning your gain back but kind of getting your contour down as well, so that way, you know, it's not so distorted but it sounds like it's heavy. And then of course there's the clean channel, so I'll just go to that now. I'll put it on the front pickup so we get a nice warm fat sound, and it's a much better clean than what you normally find on a... I think the drive contour is bypassed now, so that's not having any effect. But you can still change the brightness, and it's got its own EQ setting as well. So on 0, so again, you can really hear that EQ. On 2 it's really tight, whereas on 0 you got all the resonance, and it's opened up a lot more. So yeah, I haven't really experimented on what's going on if you turn the gain all the way up on the clean channel, so you can come into Derringers and try that out yourself. But anyways, just wanted to show you guys all about that. It's got 2 different settings for the power. So you got a low wattage section and a high wattage section. Of course, you know, if you crank it up to high and you get your master all the way up, it's going to sound a lot better. 2 KT88 tubes in it, so they're pretty big fat power tubes going on there. I believe it's got a 12AX7 preamp section. Yeah, and it's a hell of a beast. I highly recommend it. So if you want something you kind of want to measure, but you also want some other tonal options, this is definitely a good thing to go. Thanks, mate.